Now the circles dried a little bit. I changed the camera because the sun came in and so the reflection was too strong. Now I try to make the shadows. Here I have the Payne's Gray. You can see it here. This is the Payne's Gray and this is the rest of the black. And so I mixed this a little bit together. Let's see if I can get that in one camera. All right. Okay. I start with the shadows, with the dark shadows. Usually always take a Kleenex to make it more precise. Let's see if it works. I never done that before with a camera and also not talking. So for me, this is a very new experience. I hope you can see it. This stone is a bit tricky because if it goes wet, it goes dark, and so it doesn't really show up the real color right at once. You always have to wait a little until it's dry. So as I said before, the dabbing onto the circles was running out a little bit here, and so feathered out, and so I use this as a shadow. I use Payne's Gray for the shadows because it's not so dark. If you have a stone with a colorful surface, or if you use poured stones like I do from time to time, you can see that later on in the video. I put some pictures in that I also pour stones, and then it's a bit different handling because same procedure, cleaning the stone, prepare it with alcohol and let it dry, then pour the stone with any kind of color you want and let it dry a couple of days. If that is dry, then you have to varnish it first with a matte spray varnish, because otherwise it's difficult to get a precise circle on it because it can not connect so good. So with a matte spray varnish, and then it's also easy to make a correction with Q-tips and alcohol if there's something wrong and you don't touch the poured color. So you can see as I do the here I have to use the black again, the deep black, and always be careful that you have not a drop on your pen, on your brush, because then it definitely will run off the brush into the thing when you want to paint when you don't need it. This is always happening to me. So here again, the black, the deep black. Test always a bit if it's too much color on, and then again connect this line. You see, it's a tricky thing, and you need a very calm hand to get precise lines. Sometimes I use this in this brush, for example. I don't know if you can see it. It has a little curve at the end, and I use this curve. It's not bought like this. It's just because I put it somewhere to dry, and then the tip of this brush got curved, so I take it like that. So I leave it like this now again. So be aware of the light, where the light is coming from. So I set my first shadow in this direction, so I have to make all the other shadows the same direction, because then the light will come from here. Yeah, so you see this ankle will come from here, and so this is the dark shadow. Here will be also the dark shadow, dark shadow, dark shadow, dark shadow, and the opposite is the light shadows. Sometimes when I take a shower or brush my teeth or something like that, you have water drops all over, and so if you're bored from brushing teeth, and then I watch what does the drops do, the drops in the shower or whatever, and I can see where the light comes. And so this is usually the way I watch nature, to see how I can nearly get it similar to nature, but it's the most difficult thing. Copy nature. Nature had time, millions of years, to make such beautiful things, and our life is pretty short. This is our dog. I hope it doesn't disturb you. She's answering another dog outside. She always thinks she has to talk to the others. Today it's very windy, so dogs smell and hear a lot what we don't hear and smell. So this is why I do that only with daylight, because my eyes are not that good anymore to make it in an artificial light. This is still the paint spray. I always mix it a little bit with water to get it a bit more transparent. Here the first one is a bit too dark, so you see this is just the water, and it makes the stone dark. This one is not the same. Direction. Well, it's pretty difficult to paint and talk at the same time. I admire all those people who can do that, all those artists who can do that so well. To me, it's really, ooh. As I read several times, I'm more the concentrate on my painting type, and not so much the multitasking. type. So for me, it's pretty difficult. It's an interesting experience to do that, but I guess this is two things doing at the same time for me. Let's see if we can lighten that a little bit up. Just in case my English is not so good. I'm sorry for that. I try my best. I guess you will understand me somehow. If not, I say sorry. If it doesn't work so, because it's already dry, usually I take some alcohol. Again, this is isopropyl. Makes it a bit more transparent. So this is the result for now. It's always very important to have a smooth surface of the stone, because otherwise, if it has holes or riffles or whatever, it's very hard to get a straight line with the acrylic color, because it's different like oil color, so it's not so smooth. whether it is too dry or it is too thick or it is too thin or it is something. So it's difficult with acrylic colors to make this precise paintings. Okay, here, for example, there's a little riffle in the stone. So it's very important that you have the shadows sort of the same direction, because that tricks the eye. If it's not the same direction, our eyes will see that in a different way, and somehow we notice this is not real. Sometimes we cannot say why, but this is just little things which is not real in nature. So this is the first step. So this is the shadows, the dark shadows.